Welcome back to YDP Sports. Fellas, what a week of sports.
For sure.
I guess
How exciting.
How
the
exciting,
first
bro.
thing on everyone's minds, and we brought the mascot all the way over from Queensland. First things first, let's talk Origin.
Yep. What do you want to know?
Well, we'll hear from the losers first. Jeffrey, tell me something.
Let's talk about Queensland first, eh?
All right, yep.
Since they're the winners.
Mm-hmm.
We are now 1 week, a few days removed
Yep.
from the game. So no emotions are attached to what I'm about to say. Queensland are just so much better already.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the heart.
Yep.
They've got the ticker. And every player knows their role.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to talk about New South soon, but it feels like New South, they have no direction. But yeah, just to go back to Queensland, I think the selections of Walshy at the back,
Yeah.
the selection of Hammer in the centres,
Yeah.
they proved Billy Slater right.
Mm.
A lot of people are doubting them. A lot of people are saying, why not pick Gagai? Why not pick Ponga? They've been on that stage before.
Mm.
They've executed. They've played well. Origin Gagai, that's a real thing. But for Slater to pick Hammer in the centres and Hammer to 2 tries and just his defense on Turbo, yeah, he locked them up. So Billy Slater, again, he's a mastermind and he knows what he's doing. And it just proves what coach is.
And so many things went right for so many things went right for Queensland, eh? What were the few of the things that stood up for you guys?
Can I just start by saying Queensland get Origin. That's that's the Queensland thing.
As cliche and corny as it sounds.
Queensland just get Origin. I think there was obviously the start of the game where the Blues came out with a mentality to try and bash us.
Yep.
And try and get in
And it
niggly.
worked for some time.
Yeah, try to get niggly with us. I think Hudson Young trying to intimidate Cherry Evans. I think what we did well there was we hung in and we didn't sort of like bite the bullet, or not bite the bullet, like sort of buy into what they were trying to do.
Right.
We stuck to the game plan. And then there was a period where they just dominated us for a good 20 minutes. And I think the proudest thing for me was us weathering that storm.
Yep, for sure.
They threw about 5, 6, 7, 8 sets at our line, and we held
sets.
we held strong. I think Taulagi came up a few try savers.
Yeah, that's another selection that people were questioning, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Taulagi in the first few sets near the try line saved like 3 tries.
Yeah.
So
He was so safe, eh?
Yeah, I think just across the whole board, it was just a real Queensland effort, and I think it was evident in the last 12 minutes when Fittler got sent off.
Yep.
And we held strong and even managed to score 2 more tries.
yeah.
If we put everything aside, and I'm talking about selections, I'm talking about game plan, I'm talking about whatever form you're coming into Origin with, this is something that Bo and I already touched on last week. And it's the ability to absorb that pressure, eh?
Yep.
To take it, and then how do you respond to that as a team?
Yeah.
And I think that Queensland have shown us, like, time and again, that they're able to do that. They are collectively Himothy.
For sure.
Collectively,
They handle that pressure so well.
Yeah, I think, man, New South didn't play as bad as people were making it out to be. Like,
Right.
It's bad because you didn't win, and you're not judged about how you win a game, but it's how you lose.
Right.
The game, man. That's for any team. But if you think about the last 20 minutes of the first half and the first 20 minutes of that second half, man, New South
dominated. Yeah.
And those are the most important halves in a game.
Right.
But then when it comes to Origin, it's Queensland are a different beast.
Yeah.
And it's right down to the last 5 minutes. Like, they play to the last 5 minutes into that final whistle.
Yeah.
And you just saw, like, missed tackles, line rakes, like in the last 5 minutes. Like, come on. Can you not
Lindsay
defend?
Collins out leaping Teddy.
Can you not defend for the last 5 minutes
Right.
when the game's on the line?
And down him and your upper man.
Yeah, your upper man. Like, you one player was sent off.
Right.
So you're thinking, man, let's capitalize. Let's put the pressure on. Build that momentum for the last 5 minutes.
That Queensland heart, man.
And I think it is.
It's a real
sounds
thing,
corny, but
it really is. It really is the pride of the jersey,
Yeah.
And that's probably what's been missing
Yeah.
for New South. The talent is there. It's crazy. The fact that there's so much like across the board, across the team.
Yeah.
But then when it comes down to like when shit hits the fan, down to the wire, man, Queensland have that. They just step up, man. They just know what to do.
Next
you
man
know what
up,
to
eh?
do, eh?
Yeah,
Next man up.
Yeah.
You just know what to do.
I feel like that's why the criticism of New South Wales is justified. Is that, in all honesty, New South Wales have had the better squad for the last.
For sure.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
how many years
On
now?
paper.
On paper, like
Ever since the dynasty, ever
Right.
since the 8 in a row,
What?
you started to think the tide was turning,
yeah.
and then for the last like 5-6 years,
Yeah.
you could say New South had the better team on paper.
What your quote that you told me during the week? New South Wales are a team of champions, but not a champion team.
Yeah, they're a team. No, they're a
That's
team
a
of
great quote.
superstars.
Yeah.
Right.
But Queensland are a superstar team. Man.
Right.
They know how to win.
Yeah.
And even in the media for New South
Yeah.
and everything that they present as a state or state rugby, everything is about the individual players.
Yeah.
Everything is about how much Clearey can be clutch or how much he can prove that he is the guy.
Mm.
It's all about Latrell Mitt and him going down with an injury. It's
Right.
almost about Teddy proving himself that he's still the greatest fullback in the game.
Right.
But it's never been about the team collective.
Yeah.
Honestly, Queensland that's all they've been singing. Hey,
Yeah.
It's about the
Yeah.
team, next man up mentality. It's bringing in these new players on debut, how much they can
And
bring pride to the jersey.
That's one thing I enjoy about the Queensland team, is that Ben Hunt at one point got put to center,
Yeah.
right? And he defends like he's been playing that position for his whole career. You put Hines in there for the last 10 minutes, and he misses one of the most crucial tackles
Yeah.
on Munster that so Hammer scored his second try on, right?
Yeah, it's long
And it
range.
just goes to show that, man, because at one point even David Fafita was playing center,
Yeah.
you know, because they were down 2 outside backs. And it just shows that wherever Queensland needs you to play, you get put there, they play 100%. Like it's not like they're missing a beat. Eh?
Because you imagine in any other team, that same situation happens, everything goes out the window.
For sure.
Like game plan, whatever
Doesn't
you've been
even-
building towards.
Yep.
You now have like you're down a winger, you're down a center, you're down another man for the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
All of that goes out the window, and so that's why I feel like we keep coming back to this point of like playing for the jersey.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like because Ruben Cotter, he
bro.
epitomizes Queensland, eh?
Yeah.
Because what is it? What's his name?
Gilbert.
Tom Gilbert.
Yeah.
Tom Gilbert went down early with a shoulder injury. Ruben Cotter gets moved into the edge, and nothing changes.
Yep.
It's like he's been playing there his whole career, and that's what I mean is that when players get put in different positions, they thrive still. It's not like they're missing a beat. And I feel like if the roles were reversed and that happened to New South Wales will crumble under all that pressure.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest difference for me is
And,
that these players step up to the occasion.
Yeah.
And I think New South Wales, they either stay the same or they're too leveled.
Yeah.
There's no spike in
Well,
their effort.
I think Cotter's a good shout. Who are the other standouts for Queensland? Like, I mean, in a team of guys who really stood up.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Who would you say your top 2, top 3 guys
Oh,
in that game?
well, Queensland only had one debutant, and that was Reece Walsh, and I thought he played.
well. Yeah.
He played.
He didn't. He was good without being great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he just played his role,
Didn't
and
overplay his hand.
and that's all we needed from him.
Yeah.
I saw shades of Billy Slater like
Yeah.
early.
I'm sure Billy Slater sees himself.
Yeah,
in
and
the
I think
game.
it did him wonders having spent the week with him.
Yep.
He just gave him confidence.
That confidence, though, eh?
Yeah,
Like to come into Origin Arena.
Yeah.
And how old is he?
he's still under
22 or
21.
Oh,
Yeah.
21. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was good. Ben Hunt,
Ben
honestly,
Hunt.
he's that guy.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we overlook, and we overthink Origin and Queens like Ben Hunt, like next man up mentality. Just
Yeah.
hey, but keep it simple
Yeah.
and play rugby. Tackle hard, kick the ball down, apply
Yeah.
some pressure.
Yeah.
And I thought DCE when they needed him come up with
Yeah.
some
Like
come
what
up with some big plays there.
Yeah.
They're 40-20,
Yeah,
even
42
though
was clutch.
nothing
Nothing
came
came
of
to it. Yeah.
But
they applied
that-
pressure. Yeah.
man, that's what it's about, eh?
Yeah.
You need a cool
Queensland
head,
just
eh?
know their roles, eh? They
Mm.
know their roles.
Pat
Like
Kerrigan
Hammer,
as well.
Hammer, Pat
Yeah.
Kerrigan. You can see the whole Queensland team played well.
Hamizo is
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, Hammer
Let's
is
just
him,
let's
man.
just say that.
Yeah.
Hamizo.
But
with
how-
the hammer.
Like as a Queensland like player, seeing your coaching staff and Billy Slater,
Cameron
Cameron
Smith.
Smith.
Yeah.
Jonathan Thurston,
Yeah.
those are some of the immortals of our game, eh?
Yeah.
And having them in your coaching staff, of course, it's gonna give you confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that New South Wales players don't have confidence, but when you have Fittler,
Joey Johns, Brandy, yeah,
Joey
yeah.
Johns, I feel like there's a massive disconnect in terms of age,
Yeah.
because at least with Walshy and all these young players, Cobbo, Hammer, they've seen Billy Slater play.
Yeah.
They've seen Jonathan Thurston and Cameron Smith play. Whereas like the New South Wales young guys, they didn't really watch Joey Johns because he played in the early 2000s.
They
Yeah.
dared to watch Joey
Yeah,
Johns.
exactly. So I feel like there's also that disconnect between the players and the coaching staff because of the age gaps and the age differences. That was just something I noticed, is that a lot of these Queensland players actually saw their coaches play.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
that
leading
gives them
into
inspiration.
the first game, I honestly saw I couldn't fault Billy picking Walshy
Right.
Mm.
because no better coach to coach
Yeah.
a young fullback, but also Ponga's kind of set in his ways.
Yeah.
He's matured in the game.
Right.
Walshy is coachable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's young. He
True,
will soak
eh?
up every
Yeah,
piece
yeah.
of knowledge.
Yeah.
Like Ponga's kind of established
Yeah.
his style,
Yeah.
his play, but whatever Billy wanted for that State of Origin team in game one, Reece would
gonna do it.
deliver
Yeah.
because of the coaching.
What a great backup though, eh? Having
Mm.
Ponga, having Ponga just playing for the Knights.
Yeah.
You know, knock on wood, nothing happens to Walshy.
Yeah.
But if something does happen to Walshy, Ponga gets called back in, and trust me, he is going to step up like he always does.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, like, even if something were to happen to any outside backs, they've still got Gagai, you know?
Yeah.
They've still got some solid players that can't make this team. And it feels different from every other Queensland team. It always
Yeah.
seems like they're picking, you know, like their only players like Gagai every single year. But now they have options, and it's it's refreshing to see from Queensland, and it's cool to see from Billy Slater that he makes these calls, and there's these players, you know, they show up for him. So
Yeah, how good is Billy as a coach though? Eh?
for sure.
How good is it to see him in that coaching box?
Well, you
Shut
must
up.
be happy to see him.
I mean,
coach.
having like we grew up watching
Right.
Billy
Yeah.
the Kid. You know,
For sure.
we
Billy the
saw
Kid.
that rise to dominance and on all levels,
Yeah.
international, club, and in Origin. And then I look over to the New South Wales coaching box.
Right.
Honestly, I think they're a bit. Well, firstly, I think they fumbled the bag big time.
Right.
It seems like I won't comment first on New South Wales and their coaching decisions, but
Right.
where do you guys think you got it wrong? Was it at a selection level? Was it at a game plan level?
New South Wales. Where do I start with it, mate? Where do I start? Fittler. I would say this. Hines at 14 doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And I think Azza and I alluded to that when we first did our initial predictions of the squads. We thought he was going to be there, but we thought it was not the right decision at the same time. They need to carry two hooker. They need to have a two hooker system. Look at what Queensland are doing.
Yeah.
You know, with Ben Hunt and Harry Grant, they should have taken Cook to alleviate pressure off Api Coruscant. He made close to 50 tackles. Like that shouldn't happen in an Origin game, because now you're taking away from his strength, which is his attack.
Yeah.
When Api is tired, he's not gonna run the ball as much, and he's not gonna be, he's not gonna do his little dummy half darts or manipulating the ruck like he normally does.
Our Origin's too fast.
It's way too fast.
For
It's,
one.
well, now it is with the set restarts and the new rules that are in place, right? Yeah, and so unfortunately, like Hines has been one of our good players, but well, we're gonna touch on the Clearey news soon, anyways. But that not having another hooker on the bench, and then also Hudson Young, and then TPJ. Those are some iffy calls as well. But yeah,
But
what are your guys' thoughts?
I feel like New South Wales done so many things right though.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
They did.
It's
they
not
dominated.
all.
Yeah,
It's not all bad.
doom and
Yeah.
gloom.
Like you could say the coaching. Well, obviously, if you lose,
Right.
you yeah, you got it wrong. But if you had won,
Yeah.
and Hudson Young and TPJ would have looked like some good picks for that first game.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to be. I think coaching maybe has a tough job to
Right.
do
For sure.
game-
That's a
game
tough
two.
role. Yeah.
But Uppy played well.
Yep.
Uppy played well.
Yep.
But like you said, needed that. Maybe Cook.
Yeah.
Maybe if his form's questionable, in parts of that first game, he would have come in really handy.
Yeah.
He would have actually taken some pressure off that defense line in the middle, but then actually offered some attack from the middle and when they had the ball.
Yeah.
But I think the intent was there, but man,
Yeah.
like it comes down to that last day. Like your pride in the jersey, that's what it actually
Yeah.
comes down to, and New South fell short. Brian Saul played really well.
Brian To'o.
Critter had glimpses, but had
Yep.
some brain explosions as well.
Right.
And it didn't make sense that they play on the right side for club and then they jammed on the left.
Yeah.
And the same for Turbo
Yeah.
and they played on the right
They're
side.
trying to outthink the room.
Yeah, they're
that's-
overthinking it. Eh?
Yeah, overthinking it.
And like it didn't make any
Yeah.
sense from the start. And you thought, oh, maybe it's something, but it didn't actually work out.
I guess talking about club, I mean at club level, and look at New South Wales. At club level, I think what the Panthers do is awesome,
Yeah.
and across a number of games, their gameplay is like
Yeah.
top of
Yeah,
top,
top
notch
notch.
stuff.
Yeah.
eh?
They're the
But
best
I
team.
think that the arena of Origin
Right.
Yeah.
calls for something different.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you guys reckon?
And I'm glad you bring that up because that was going to be my point. I think that New South Wales game plan was very Penrith heavy.
Right.
You could see that they didn't really have a plan B. I mean, the only thing like for me that wasn't going right was the execution of it. Like
Right.
they had so much ball and they just couldn't execute.
Yeah.
I think with the heavy Penrith contingent in that squad, everyone else around them, like your Teddies, and they just, I didn't think they
They're
followed.
like outsiders.
yeah,
right?
and they didn't really get the game plan well.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where Edwards knows his role, he's
Yeah.
not overplaying. He finds that last pass where
Right.
Teddy just took himself,
Yeah.
or it
Oh,
just
don't worry,
it
I'm
just
gonna
seemed
touch
like
on that.
it just seemed like they didn't have a game plan once. A plan B.
Yeah.
When shit was hitting the fan pretty
Right.
much. You know.
Yeah, I agree with you. That my only pushback on that though is that without the Penrith Panthers players, that
Yeah, it
team,
would've been
it
nil.
would have been 13 plus
Yeah, there was no
yeah.
way they would
to
have.
the Maroons,
Yeah.
right? Because the Panthers players were the ones keeping them in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that tried to Liam Martin.
Yeah.
You know Liam Martin, he's probably, if it wasn't for New South Wales losing, he would have been man of the match in my
Yeah.
opinion, right? That whole left side of Luai, Martin, Critter, and Bizza, I think they all played well.
Yeah.
Right? It's just when it went right and it got to Clearey and then it went to Teddy.
And it died.
It died. The
Yeah.
attack was so poor when it went
It
right.
was so clunky
And,
in the
Like
middle.
I was getting so annoyed at Tedesco because I know he's a champion bloke,
Yeah.
but he didn't play like a champion
Yeah.
bloke. Eh? He was trying to do too much.
Yeah.
And I know that I think the next day I was talking to Ezra about it and I was like, nah, I want Teddy gone. He needs to be out of the team. But now that we're 1 week removed from the game, I think it's fair that Teddy gets another shot at redeeming himself.
Of course,
Because he's
yeah.
a champion, right?
He's incumbent.
He's been there, he's done that, he's the captain, and I think he should be respected in that way
Yeah.
to be able to come back and have a bounce back game. Let's say he comes out in game 2 and shits the bed again, then maybe to get Dylan Edwards
Start
in,
looking at the future.
get
Yeah.
Tommy Turbo or Latrell Mitt, start looking elsewhere, eh?
Yeah.
But it's just that right side attack when it went to Teddy, he was pissing me off with his little. It's like before it used to work, right? He'll get the
Yeah.
ball and he'll do his right foot whack and he'll jink back inside and he'll break tackles left, right, and center. But this time there was a clear, obvious pass to Josh Adokar in the corner. He didn't take it. He went back
Yeah.
in.
Oh, was that a coupling?
But that's what I was thinking after the game as well. Like, if we wanted the running fullback, we wanted the like unexpected cut back in, and then or like running around the ruck, we would have picked Dylan Edwards.
Right.
We needed the experienced Tedesco to ice those
Yeah.
overlaps and those moments. Like the passing, we needed his passing game, and it wasn't there. The Penrith mentality, New South couldn't pull it off.
Yeah.
The kick down there, bring your defense up, apply pressure. They did it for the last 20 minutes of that first half and the first 20 minutes of the second half. Silly mistakes brought Queensland in. TPJ and offload down their half.
Right.
And then like a number of penalties coming in, which also didn't help their cause. But like as I said, they didn't have a plan B.
Right.
Like, what are we going to do now? Because that's Penrith's that's their main game plan. Like, apply pressure.
Yeah.
It's like kick it down, their defense line brings it up, and then they apply. Like when they kicked it down and Liam Martin came flying in.
Yeah.
And they got a dropout, which was dropped by Nico Hines.
Yeah.
Like it's stuff like that. Like Penrith actually get those right.
Yeah.
And then when it went wrong, they didn't have a backup plan. They had nothing else. And maybe like a 40-20 or something from Clearey.
Yeah.
Just wasn't to be.
I think the thing that makes it really hard for coaches and selectors is that you have one bad game in the NRL, you have 15 to 20 rounds
to make up for it.
Yeah.
In Origin, you have one bad game.
Yep.
And then
The next game is the decider.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it for the series. So, in saying that, there are some big losses on both sides of our squad. So, as took us through the Maroons and who they lose and who you think is coming in, and then Jeff, you can probably share about the Blues.
Yeah, I think Tom Gilbert and Jai Arrow are probably most definitely out. It's big losses for us. I think Tom Gilbert, he's just a workhorse, and Arrow, when he came on, I think he played his role perfectly. He just came on, and I was watching him pretty closely. He never took a backward step. Like he never got bent backwards. He was always falling on his front, which I always love in forwards.
Right.
Who get quick play the ball.
Two versatile players. Both
So
of them.
So they're going to be big losses because you have to bring in someone who's pretty much similar and versatile, like Arrow and like Gilbert. Who we bring in, I'm not sure. I think you can go a couple of ways with Kurt Capewell, either Kurt Capewell or
the horse.
Vin Diesel. I do think he will get a look at because it kind of helps that he's been playing back row for Raiders.
Yeah.
So now he's got that versatility.
Don't you think Vin Diesel's a lock-in?
Yeah.
Like surely he.
I mean, it showed on the weekend when we lost both our wingers. We had to push our back rows into centre, and Kurt Capewell's done that before. So that's the only reason why I'm kind of looking at him more than Vin Diesel.
Versatile, just like Tom Gilbert and Arrow.
Yeah. So, but I don't know which way we go.
Who would you bring in to replace that bench player in Arrow?
Yeah, either Horsburgh, who's been playing pretty decent, and I like that he's been playing back row for the Raiders.
Yeah.
And I think
Welsh? No? Christian Welsh?
No.
You're not a fan of him.
No, because we've got a big forward pack already. We don't need an extra prop. We need versatility on the bench. Yeah.
How about Josh Papa last minute? I'm coming out of retirement.
Come back to save
Papa just one more stint.
Man, he's been playing out of his mind too.
I know. But yeah, that's for me. That's who
Jeff,
I think.
Man, I guess the biggest name.
Man, the biggest name of them all, Nathan Clearey. Nathan Clearey has got a grade 1 hamstring, I think.
6 weeks.
6 weeks, so he'll definitely miss Origin 2 and most likely the whole series.
He'll be chasing 3.
Yeah, he'll be chasing 3. So doubtful for game 3, but there's talks that either Nico Hines is going to start at 7. There's also Joey Johns is maybe wanting Adam Reynolds to play at 7. It's just there's different ways you can go. Mitch Moses has been there as well and done that. But I think the most logical is Nico Hines. Right, Nico Hines. He's been in the camp. He came off the bench and had to get pushed to centre, which was unfortunate. But Nico Hines is there. You're gonna have to play him. Whether they play him with Luai is another question because the reason why Luai was selected was that combination with Clearey, right?
Yep.
So whether Luai gets picked or it's maybe a Cody Walker who's been in form, there's many questions whether what half they go, because that also maybe determines who the 6 will be.
Yeah.
But just to quickly touch on Luai, the amount of like crap that bloke gets, it's ridiculous.
Crazy,
it's
man.
crazy to me. So he outplays Nathan Clearey in game 1. Like clearly everyone saw that he outplays Nathan Clearey in game 1, and he still gets the same ratings from every media, the same as Clearey, or even worse than Clearey. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So like I want to push back on those Jerome Luai narratives that just because he's a grub or a shit bloke, people people view him differently, but they don't look at him for the way that he plays. I just hope that he does get another shot to shut up these critics or these people that are always down on him, because he's a champion bloke. He's a back-to-back champion. He led Samoa to the World Cup final. Like, the amount of backlash this guy gets is crazy.
And I think there's some like racial undertones.
Oh, for sure.
To a lot of man.
I don't want to go there, but I'm glad you went there.
Didn't want to say it.
No, but we established that last year.
Yeah.
When he came out after that grand final, like anything he does, even if he scores about 5 tries, there's always something bad that Luai's doing. I think if they do go Adam Reynolds, or if they do go down that route, I would stick with Luai.
Right.
You
want to bring in Cody Walker?
Nah, I wouldn't actually. Just because he actually offers more stability in defense.
Right.
Yeah, like if you watch Luai, his effort is always 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
He brings up the line, especially if you have a kicking dominant half in Adam Reynolds, then you need that 6 to bring in that line and fight. He let in a try, or you could say Tedesco let the try in, but he is safe and for the most part on defense. So I'm hoping that Luai gets another look.
Yeah.
And it'll be the perfect chance for him to step up without Clearey. And to actually like shut them up once and for all.
And because Cleary's so good at doing that thing where he disappears.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he goes missing.
He just does a smoke bomb.
Missing, especially in Origin.
Man, I hate that notion. He's won 3 series already.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
doesn't
only 24, 25. Come on.
I mean, for the rep, no, Jeffrey, it's because the rep that you guys give him.
But he is that good.
I think
he sometimes he does go missing in Origin, I must admit. But he's won 3 series already at a young age. Like, come on, he's still got time left to prove himself.
I guess the most interesting thing that remains to be seen is which way your
allegiance
decide to go.
Because those guys, I don't even think they know what they're doing. That's the issue. Like, hey, can I just propose this spine to you? Damien Cook at 9, Cody Walker at 6,
over Uppy,
Adam Reynolds at 7.
Uppy comes off.
And then you play Teddy at the back, but Uppy comes off the bench. What do you guys think about that? As Queenslanders,
how did that work?
Because
how did that work out 2 grand finals?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about Luai playing is combinations, right? That's the whole reason why Luai is even playing in the first place. And if Clearey is not playing, then you're losing that combination. So if you're gonna bring in, let's say, an Adam Reynolds, wouldn't it make sense to pair him up with Damien Cook at 9, Cody Walker at 6? And then just leave Teddy at the back and then bring Uppy off the bench?
Nah,
that makes sense, right? If that's the way you're going anyway.
You guys do need 2 hookers though.
I think
for sure.
I 100% think Nico is gonna get a look. Yeah, just based on he was on the squad.
And
he needs a fair. He actually needs a fair.
I'm just saying hypothetically, if they do go with the Adam Reynolds route,
then
it would make more sense to bring in Cody Walker and start Cook at 9 because they've played together before. If this combination thing is what they want to stick with.
And that's I think they're gonna actually stick with
Hines,
Luai. And then Luai, or they'll probably call up Cody Walker, depending on how the selectors feel that week.
Right.
So I mean, these are all great hypotheticals, but Maroons by
3, Maroons 3-0.
Yeah. Final thoughts before we wrap up.
Oh man, it's gonna be a tall task for New South Wales to go and win it at Suncorp. They can do it. I believe they can do it. It's just it's gonna be tough without Clearey now, their main man. or maybe it was Tedesco. That's their main man. I don't know who their main man is, but surely they can figure that one out and come away with the dub. Maybe New South Wales 1-12.
Nice.
I'm gonna say first of all, Samoa of origin, because that's what game one really is. And have a look across the field, across the arena, and see all the
685,
Samoan guys.
The script has been written. I'm telling you.
All the 685
New South
guys
Wales is
stepping
winning
up.
game 2.
That's all I have to say. But
Especially Reece Walsh.
I'm expecting a big turnaround for New South. But like I said, it comes down to the last 2 minutes of the game, and
Right.
if they let Queensland creep in, they're gonna ice
Game
it.
over.
But we're gonna preview game 2 later on, anyways.
Yep, Maroons at Suncorp. 3-0. That's gonna be New South Wales. Too many fires, not enough hoses.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Queensland.
The script's
at-
written.
at
I'm
home,
telling you guys, there's gonna be a
yeah.
game
It's
3
a tough one,
decider.
eh? It's a tough
Yeah.
one.
The
NRL
NRL have written the script. I'm telling
Pushing
Well,
for game 3
Whether
decider.
or not it goes to a decider, ultimately you decide. Comment, like, subscribe, catch us on all our socials. Peace.
you. Peace.